Police have not confirmed the identity of the victim yet, but a source close to Philly confirms with us a well-known Philly rapper lost his son last night. Tributes are pouring in for the 25-year-old known as ING Cheese. Police say one man died and 2 others were hurt in the shooting on Masher Street in Olney. It happened before 8:30 last night. They say the victim was shot once in the back. NBC 10 has confirmed that victim is son of longtime Philly rapper Gillie the Kid. His podcast co-host posted a tribute to Young Cheese on Instagram that now has nearly 73,000 likes. Fans say he was a promising young rapper looking to follow in his father's footsteps. So far, police have not released any victim description. They haven't made any arrests.
Gillie the King laying his oldest son, Devin Spady, to rest on Monday. Spady, who rapped under the name Young Cheese, was killed in a shooting at the corner of Masher and Nedrow last Thursday night.
My son in 2020. I lost my daughter in 2021 to cancer. My brother Gil lost his son. So when we say if we get rocked this shit for our kids, it got a deeper meaning. Because we still have things that we could do for our kids, like make dua for them, like give charity in their names, things that's going to aid them in the next life. And that's the mission that we on. So if I get rocked, this shit for my kids. Philly, let's go.
Let's go! 1, 2, 3.
Long live Cheese.
Yo, what's up, people? We is back. Another day on Keep It G News. Do y'all remember all that stuff that was going on? You know, when Gilly the Kid lost his son, it kind of took the internet by surprise because it was so unexpected, you know? Because for the most part, we kind of watched Gilly kids grow up, man, and we seen that Gilly was having problems with his oldest son. He wanted to be in the streets. But I don't think nobody thought it was going to lead to this, you know, like, you know, because he was a good kid, man. You know, I'm sure they probably had trials and tribulations coming up because Gilly is pretty much, for the most part, new to money. But we always under the assumption that Gilly moved his kids out the hood. But when I did a video a while back, I explained to people how even though Gilly had the money to move out the hood, that's where his son was from. That's where his friends reside, you know. And it's almost an impossible task to completely separate your child from that if that's what they want to be involved in. And I spoke to how the streets put like a vice grip on you. Like, it's crazy. It's like once you get tangled into the streets, it's like a web, yo, and it's so hard to get out of. But Gilly was on the Pivotal podcast, I think about 2 days ago now, and he spoke about his son and how it affected him and his mind frame during this whole situation.
Talk about almost the emotional arc of losing your son. What was the worst time?
The worst time had to be, was kind of the worst and the best. The worst time had to be when I had to wash his body. You know what I mean? That was the worst, but it was also the best because I became a man that day. I thought I was a fucking man, but I wasn't. That day, I became a man. I was a little ass boy up to that point. I thought I was a man because I did man shit. I paid bills. You know what I mean? I took care of my family. I take care of my sisters. I take care of my dad. I take care of my mom. Kids that's not even my kids because they lost their dad. But that day I became a man. When I washed my son's body, it was a gift and a curse. It was a good thing and a bad thing because it was a very painful thing to see your son laying there cold and stiff. But I know I sent him off right. You know what I mean? Wow. And in Islam, that's a big thing, sending them off right. So, and I had some good brothers, man. What camera am I looking at? I want to look into that camera, and I want to thank Freeway from the bottom of my heart. You was there every step of the way with me, brother, washing my son's body. The hardest shit I ever had to do in my fucking life. I will always love you and respect you, brother. for life. I appreciate that. But yeah, that was the day that the devil was on my shoulders. If I ain't had strong people around me, man, I would have resorted back to the old Gillie, man. I'd have wiped the whole fucking city out, man. I promise you, man. Because I got enough money to do it. But it was people like Wallow, it was people like Freeway. It was people that let me know that and understand that I'm here for a bigger purpose, man. And when I sat down and I really thought about it, I said, I don't want to be a fucking mockery to these kids. These kids that I tell every day. I try to give them the game, the guidance, attention, motivation, and education every fucking day. Just like I tried to give my son every day to stay out these streets. So now it become more personal to me.
Man, you can see the pain in that man's eyes, man. I mean, you can hear it in his voice. And I couldn't imagine losing a child. But this is a occurrence in our neighborhoods that happens daily, you know. Because we dying so young. You know, black males have been gunned down in every city across America, man. Every ghetto in America. And it's sad, yo. And it's heartbreaking to see Gillie go through this. And I've watched people in my own life, parents, go through this. And I'm going to tell y'all right now and today, I'm not the person to come to when you going through these type of situations, because it's like I done been through it so much. I don't really have the sensitive side of me, you know, that you can latch to. I don't know, yo. It's crazy. It's like I don't even feel comfortable having them conversations, yo, because at the end of the day, I know over time all wounds get healed. You feel me? And you can't tell nobody that during that situation, because it's like you coming off insensitive. But at the same time, what Gillie was going through in his mind frame at the time, you know, he was struggling between, should I throw it all away? Or do I move forward? Not that he's leaving his child move forward, but, you know, he in a different time in his life. You know, he pushing a different message, so it'd have been kind of counterproductive to hear Gillie talking so positive on the streets and then he crash out, even though it's his child that was involved. Now, me, I'm going to be honest. I'd have been on that podcast talking just like that, but the whole time I got something going on the back burner. Straight up, because I don't think I could let something like that go. You know? And then he talked about how he had to wash his child up, man. God, thank y'all. Imagine that. I don't even want y'all to imagine it, but sheesh, to go through that. And he said that's what made him a man. And I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did, yo. That had to been an impossible task. Mission impossible. I promise you it was. But what really stuck out to me was the conversation he had with Freeway, you know. He talked to Freeway, and Freeway had to remind Gillie, like, yo, you got to keep going, you know, because Freeway then lost his own kids. That's why I played that clip for y'all in the beginning. So he know what this feels like. Lost 2 children. That's crazy. And then Freeway had his own personal health issues that he was dealing with early in the year. But to lose 2 children, and then the conversation he had with Gillie, it had me thinking about the conversation I had with y'all on this platform, where I talked about you got to keep your kids away from the streets. You got to, man, because the streets will get a child and turn him into a man. And that's not what you want, because once the street involve itself in your child's life, yo, it's almost like you can't get your child back until the streets is done with them. And the streets have a habit of chewing you up and spitting you out. And it's a chance that this child that was taken by the streets, if you get him back, might not be the same person no more, man. And in this situation, Gillie didn't get his child back, yo. But I respect everything he was saying, because I understand it. You know, all you can do as a parent, once your child gets sucked into the street life and this culture that we call the streets, is let them learn. You know, as long as you having the conversations, you got to have the conversations, but you have to be able to understand the fact that whatever happens, happens. You got to be comfortable with that. And I think that's what ultimately helped Gillie move on. The fact that he had to be comfortable, because he know he tried everything. Tried everything. I'm sure he did. I done seen him on live having conversations with his son about the streets. But what can you do? You know, he was a grown man. He got to make his own decisions. And as a parent, all you can do is help guide him. But like I say, when the streets guide him, and you know, because that's where he was from. His friends was there. But when the streets got him, ain't no telling if you're going to get your child back, man. You might get him back in the casket, man. Might get him back in a body bag. Might get him back crippled with bullet wounds and bullet holes all in him. But that's the streets, y'all. And it's fucked up, yo, that we continuously have to go through this and see this. You know, it's sickening. I bet Gillie never would have imagined that his son would lose his life to the streets of Philadelphia, the streets that he fought so hard for, the streets that he fought hard in. Now, I told y'all in that video I did in the beginning, I don't actually think he was the intended target, but we all know how it go. You know what I mean? It's always the innocent one that get gunned down when there's multiple people getting shot at one time. The intended target probably ain't even get hit. That's why I encourage parents and the youth, you know, to stay out the streets, yo. It's not a game. I know it get glamorized to us like it's something fun and it's the cool thing to do, yo, but it ain't. It ain't. Because even when you separate yourself from the streets, like Gillie did, it only take one thing to go back. And it took a lot, I'm sure, for Gillie to make that decision to say, you know what? I can't risk it all. I got other kids. I tried. And he didn't fail. That's another thing a lot of parents feel like they failed. He didn't fail. But it was nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do, yo. Cheese would have had to make that decision on his own, yo. And I'm sure he wanted to make the decision, but it probably, you know, time ran out. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. How do y'all feel about Gillie being open about his mind frame during that time? And do y'all understand what I'm saying about when the streets get you? There's nothing you can really do about it as a parent, yo, but accept it. But you gotta be comfortable with however it go. You know, if they come back, cool. But if they don't, I can't say it's cool, but you gotta accept it because as long as you try. Now, if you didn't try, that's on you. You gotta live with that. But if you know you have tried everything in your power to steer your kids away from this street life and this street culture, and they still find their way to stumble onto it, gotta accept what come with it. And it's sad that that's our community and that's our culture, and the streets got this hold on us, but that's what it is. Let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments. Just keep it G News.
Nigga can't do what I do, y'all niggas can't copy me. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep the shit G. Let's keep shit G. Let's keep shit G.